What is the Flying Santa cause? Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, Flying Santa, what is this? It's got to be its 77th, the 78th year.
Yeah.
It was started by a float plane pilot in Friendship, Maine, named Bill Winkapaw, who used to fly to the lighthouses the day before Christmas and actually throw out bundles to the lighthouse keepers. And the reason really was being that back then the lighthouse keepers were really restricted to their whatever lighthouse they were on. And they stayed out there, good weather, foul weather, and it was just a nice little treat.
That's great.
And he did that for quite a few years. And every year he had to expand his route, and he got bigger and bigger. And then he brought on board a helper named Edward Snow. And Mr. Winkapaw went to South America, and Mr. Snow took it over. And he kept it going for 44 years until he took sick in 1980, I believe it was. And the Hull Life Saving Museum stepped in to do a few of his stops that year so the tradition wouldn't stop. And that's when I came on board down there. We were down there for quite a few years. And in 1996, it was decided to take the program out of the museum because it was a self-sustaining program at the time. So they formed the Friends of Flying Santa, and it still continues on today. I stayed with it until 2003, and I had to really stop that year because I had already had one knee replacement, another one was scheduled. The problem was just couldn't get in and out of the helicopters.
Oh.
But after 23 years, it was time to step aside, and the program is still running strong. In fact, I'm sure they're flying out. They're flying someplace today. They might be in Maine, they might be down in Rhode Island, Connecticut, but this is they do it. They try and get it all done in the first 2 weekends, and it's getting to the point now that it takes 4 days to do it. And all they use is helicopters now, and the program has really kind of twisted away from the old-time lighthouse keeper where there was just a family there.
Yeah.
So now it's everybody in the Coast Guard that's associated with it will bring their kids, and it's a great big party. So sometimes they have 30, 40 kids on the ground waiting for you.
Okay, so it's like a Coast Guard thing now.
Mainly, but they all like to see Santa come in.
Absolutely.
They all like to see Santa. It's quite an experience to come into a lighthouse, and you have to fly around it 2 or 3 times, make sure the crowd stays back, and you know where your landing site is. And you see 40, 50 rugrats running around there, hooting and hollering, waiting for Santa.